Hey, it's Holly from Safe Beginnings. Today I'm going to walk you through our new car seat selection tool, how it works, and what's in store for the next phase. A fun fact about me, back in 1999 I built my very first website on GeoCities. It was a Dawson's Creek fan site, but I've come a long way from my preteen days of building websites on GeoCities. It's a skill that I've developed over the years and have continued to use in terms of my own business. From day one, I built the Safe Beginnings website, and the Safe Beginnings website that you see today, I built that too. We've been through a few redesigns over the years, but last year I put a plan in motion to completely rebuild our website from scratch. I spent months building it locally, directly on my own hard drive. Finally got it uploaded in early May, and so when you go to our website today, it's a completely different website than it was just a few months ago. Part of the reason I wanted to completely rebuild the website was because I wanted to build in some new tools. I get asked for recommendations all the time on social media, but something I have to be very aware of is that recommendations are super personal. They're going to look different for every parent, every caregiver, every family situation. And that one-on-one attention is really difficult when you have a larger audience. And back when I built our previous website, I didn't have an audience. Our social media handles are Safe Beginnings, but our proper business name is Safe Beginnings First Aid, because that's where we started. My sister Jill and I own a local Vancouver-based first aid business focused on teaching parents and caregivers life-saving skills for babies, toddlers, and growing families, all the way through the adult years. But babies and toddlers are our main focus, and that's our main niche, which is why over the years we developed expertise around baby proofing, car seat safety, really anything to do with baby and toddler safety. As a result of being on social media for the past few years, that completely changed the scope of our business. So while in person we really do focus on first aid CPR, online my focus is really more about injury prevention, baby proofing, car seat safety, and general safety around the home and on the go. While it's difficult to give one-on-one recommendations to a larger audience, something that's really cool about having a social media audience is that you have that one-to-many education aspect. And I truly love being able to give that bite-sized, digestible amount of information using videos and social media and even just regular old social media posts. But I really wanted some kind of interactive tool that parents and caregivers could use to help narrow down some recommendations for them, but in an educated way. Because sure, you can go on any baby retailer website and you can look for certain pieces of baby gear with certain features, but we don't necessarily know the why behind all of those features. And speaking for myself, it's something that I really wish I had when I was pregnant with my first daughter. My first daughter was born in the summer of 2015, and in early 2015, my husband and I started looking for baby gear, registering at a baby store locally here, and I had absolutely no idea what I wanted. No awareness of any brand names related to baby gear. I really wasn't sure what I was even looking for, what I needed, and I found the process of both car seats and strollers extremely overwhelming. The store we went into doesn't exist anymore. It was called Crocodile Baby. But I remember walking into that store one day and looking at strollers, and the store was a very small boutique store. It maybe had about 10 to 12 strollers on the sales floor, which took up most of this store, to be honest. And between being so hormonal and overwhelmed, I actually started to cry because I really didn't know what I was looking for, and then realized that maybe I needed to be able to pair my car seat with that, and then how does that work? And it's a feeling I wouldn't wish on anyone. And I have no idea where she is right now, but there was a really lovely woman there named Sarah who walked my husband and I through everything. And thankfully, because of her, I left feeling a lot better than when I went in. But on the other hand, sometimes you don't really know the level of expertise of the person you're talking to, or if they understand the importance behind certain features. And so what I wanted to do specifically with this car seat selection tool was create both a search tool that you could use to narrow down really car seats that may work for your family, but also build in some education. Because the reality with really any baby gear is that there's a lot of jargon involved, and when you're shopping, you see it in the marketing, but you don't necessarily understand why it's important. So I wanted to make sure that the tool has tooltips throughout so that you can actually learn and understand what those features are as you're going through it. Another thing that was important to me was making it as easy as possible to navigate. So I've done that as best I can, but I'm always open to feedback on it. So please don't be shy. So here's how to get to the tool, and here's how the tool works. You can click through the links on our YouTube or through our social media to get here, or you can go to safebeginnings.ca/guides. And if you're wondering, why guides? This car seat selection tool is the first of a few different types of buying guides that I'm putting together, so stay tuned for that. Clearly, I love a make work project. Once you're on that main landing page, you will see that there are 8 buttons at the bottom, and that might seem like a lot, but I will explain why I separated them. There are really 4 main stages of car seats. You can argue that there's maybe 5 or 6, but there's about 4 main ones. Infant car seats, convertible or all-in-one car seats, forward-facing only or harness to booster car seats, and then dedicated booster seats. You may have noticed I'm based in Canada, but I have tools for both Canada and the US, because at this point, unsurprisingly, based on population numbers, most of my audience is US based. And importantly, I am certified in car seats in both Canada and the US. In Canada, I'm certified through the Child Passenger Safety Association of Canada, which is the organization that certifies CPSTs across Canada. And in the US, I am certified through Safe Kids Worldwide. And I renewed both of my certifications this year, so that is good for another few years at least. The user experience is really important to me, so ensuring that you're not getting a million pop-ups on every page, you're not being inundated with ads and videos playing in the corner. I want you to be able to come to this page, get the information you need, and move on from there. So let's try out one of these tools. I'm going to go into the US convertible / all-in-one car seat selection tool. At the top of the page, I have included a change log. As I'm making changes to the tool, you'll be able to see what those changes are and why they were made. I also have a section on features coming soon because I've gotten a lot of really good, valid requests through the feedback portion, and hey, I want to always make this better. So please send in your feedback, which is the next section. And I want to be super clear because here I do ask for an email address, but that does not sign you up for anything. It's purely if I need clarification, because sometimes I don't understand some of the questions and I like to be able to reach out and say, can you kind of walk me through what you mean by this? So that's all that it's there for. You don't get signed up for anything. It's just so that you can give me feedback. Now onto the education portion. For each stage, I've tried to include some little mini articles that I've written up, things that you should consider when you're purchasing that particular stage of car seat. Because as a child grows, you're going to have different needs and different ways that that next stage of car seat is going to serve you. But let's be real, car seats can be pretty expensive. So if you're making a large investment, I want you to have some education empowering you there so that you can feel confident you're making the right purchasing decision. Okay, now into the tool. When you first load the tool, it basically shows you all of the car seats for that particular stage for the country that you selected. So because we're in the US tool, currently it's showing us seats available on the US market in terms of a convertible or all-in-one, because that's the tool that we're in. I do come in here a few times a week and update the sale information. So if it says on sale, it means that it's on sale somewhere. Otherwise, it will just say shop. And those buttons will take you to a page where you can purchase the car seat. Not through me, through a third-party retailer. But I'm going to come back to that in a minute. I've put some very basic information below each seat here, and this looks a little bit different for each stage. For example, on the infant tool, you're not going to see anything related to forward-facing or booster mode because those are rear-facing only carrier-style car seats. Likewise, for the forward-facing only tool or the booster tool, you wouldn't see anything for rear-facing. So that will change in terms of how that template looks for each tool. There's a view details button, which I'll also show you in a moment, that will take you to a details page. But let's start with these filters on the side. From a usability perspective, I wanted people to be able to use these in the most user-friendly way possible. So you'll see I have expand and collapse all buttons if you want to just look at all the filters opened up at once, or you can individually open them up by clicking on the heading. Something that personally drives me nuts when I'm on a website that has these kind of expandable accordion style menus is when you open one and it closes the other ones. So I've specifically programmed this one so that it stays open unless you close it, because you may have a filter selected, and if it were to close on you, you wouldn't necessarily see it selected, and you might forget why your results have been narrowed down. And in case you haven't heard me say this yet somewhere else, I have ADHD, so these are just things that my brain thinks about all the time. For my fellow nerds out there, this is an Ajax search, which means that as we select filters, it's going to automatically update on the right-hand side, or if you're on mobile, below. So you don't have to apply the filter, it's just going to happen for you. I just wanted to make this as easy as possible to use. So here we can even start with this price filter. If I want to bring this in and say I'm looking for a car seat that's between, that's a pretty big range, let's say $250 to $550. You can see that that narrowed down quite quickly. And I also have a reset all filters button that just showed up now that we've set a filter. So that wasn't there in the first place, but now that we've set the filter, if we want to just reset everything and start again, you totally can. So it's narrowed down our results there. Let's say that I'm looking for one that has flame retardant free fabrics available as an option. I can come down to the fabrics and child fit section here and select FR free fabrics. And you'll notice that it's underlined. That's a tooltip. So if I hover over it, it will tell you what I mean by that. So there are a lot of, again, jargony terms when it comes to car seat stuff. So I wanted to make that, again, just super clear so that people know what those things are and why they might care about it. Okay, so that's further narrowed down my results here. So I still have quite a few. We can add in some more options. So let's say that now we just want to look at the ones that also maybe are rotating car seats. So I can go into convenience features and I can say, okay, I really want one that rotates. And now it's narrowed it down to just 4. So it's a very easy way to just quickly narrow down those features that you're looking for, or you might realize there's not many choices with the criteria I have and you may need to broaden your criteria. In which case, if you just want to start again, you can hit that reset all filters button and it'll do it for you. So like I said, I separated these into stages because each stage really does have its own considerations. I didn't want this to be confusing for anyone, and I only wanted to show relevant filters for each stage. So I have those expand all, collapse all buttons at the top. I'm going to expand them all and just show you what some of the filters are for this particular stage to give you an idea. And then we'll look at a different tool so that you can see how they vary. Okay, so if I go to expand all, and I think I'm actually going to zoom in a bit so you can see some of these a bit better, so bear with me. So for some of these filters, again, convertible all-in-one seats. If it's an all-in-one, it will likely have that booster mode. Some of them have high back only, some of them have backless only, maybe it has both. So if you need that, that's available. If you're looking for a convertible that has extended rear facing, so in this case, I'm looking for things where the weight limit would be at least 50 pounds rear facing, you can filter by that. Seats that are lightweight or narrow if you are looking to fit them into a particular size of vehicle or situation. Maybe you're looking for a 3 across. This can help you narrow down things that may work for you. In terms of lightweight and narrow, I had to define them for the tools because it's very subjective, and something I noticed going through the process of building this was car seat manufacturers have been quite liberal with what they call lightweight or narrow. So based on the data, once I got all of the data, all of the specs for each car seat into a big spreadsheet, which is how I started, looking at that spread of things like the weight of the car seat itself or how wide the car seat is, what actually is narrow based on the seats available in the market. Narrow for car seats I defined as anything 18 inches or less. 17 inches I would say is truly, truly, truly narrow. But 18 inches works in a lot of vehicles, so it's going to be specified on the details page, but that is how I define the tool. And if you hover over the tooltip, you'll see that I have defined it there for you as well. Now, in terms of lightweight, this one is a bit more tricky because lightweight means different things depending on what stage you're looking at. For infant car seats where you have a carrier that clicks into a base, I'm looking at the weight of the carrier itself. And for that particular weight, I was looking at anything that is 9 pounds or less. And 9 pounds may seem like a lot, but surprisingly, when you look at the weight of infant seats, 9 pounds and less is really on the more lightweight end. I also found something kind of interesting as I went through this exercise, and I made a video about it that I posted to Instagram and TikTok the other day. I've noticed that car seat manufacturers are sometimes slightly misrepresenting the weight of the car seat in their marketing materials, saying that a car seat is actually lighter than it is. And the way they're doing that is they're saying if it's with the infant cushioning and the canopy removed. But in reality, who's taking the canopy off their seat? So one of the things I'm going to do in the next phase is actually weigh each seat myself. So I'll explain that more in a little bit, but I want to make sure I'm getting you accurate information. So as I go through the seats in phase 2, that's something I'm going to be doing. For convertible, all-in-one, forward-facing only car seats, boosters, I put lightweight as anything 12 pounds or less, because there are some options that are under 9 pounds, but you'd be hard-pressed. And at that point, you're not really carrying it with the child strapped into the seat. At least you should not be. So because of that, I'm looking more at the seat weight itself, being 12 pounds or less. For safety technology, I included some safety technologies that you would see. So again, in this case, this is safety technology you would see in a convertible or all-in-one car seat. And defining what those are, because if you haven't bought a car seat with a load leg before, there's a good chance you don't know what a load leg is. So I've included that there. And in terms of fabric and child fit, I've included things like whether the cushioning is included or available separately. Can I find flame retardant free fabric options for a particular seat? Sometimes you can get that as an option, so it's not always the base model that will have that, but sometimes you have to buy the fancier version of the seat to get that option. But if it's available, I've put it in as a filter. Even down to things like, can I put that seat cushion right into the dryer? It's becoming more common. It used to be that you could almost never do that, because it would kind of bake out a lot of the flame retardant properties, which are important. We don't want car seats to just be super flammable in a crash. But now it is becoming more common to have fabrics that are safe to tumble dry, or at least safe to tumble dry up to a certain amount of washes. Briefly ran out of storage room there while recording. I am back. So into things like convenience features, we have no rethread harness, so the ability to adjust the harness height really easily without having to thread it in and out like a standard slotted harness. Whether the seat's travel friendly, whether it is a seat that can rotate or not. Install features that can make things easier, like having built-in locking mechanisms or rigid lower anchors. So all of that is included. And then in terms of the expiration period, if you want a seat that maybe you're going to put a few kids ideally through, then you may want something that has a little bit of a longer expiration period. So you can also filter based on that. Okay, so now I'm going to go into a different tool. Let's look at a booster tool, because that's going to be wildly different compared to a harnessed seat. And you'll see again, I've got some articles here for that education piece, but if we come down to the filters, you're going to notice very quickly that we're looking at some different filters. Looking at the seats on the right-hand side, you'll notice that information is different. You don't have anything about rear-facing mode, for example, but you're also going to see different filters that are relevant specific to that mode. So we don't have anything about whether it has extended rear facing. We're going to see a lot different things in terms of convenience features. So that's why I wanted to separate these tools out, so that you can get the education specific to the stage you're looking for, and then also you are able to only see the things that apply to you. So let's take a look at the details pages. If I go into the details page for a booster seat, you're going to see some information, but not as much as you might see on an all-in-one car seat. I give you any tech specs I was able to locate, and then I also list off all of the features, and these are the things that you're actually filtering by, so you can see that information there. Some other information at the top, including the price. The reason the price isn't on the main page, I've had some requests for it. Not all retailers like having the price there because the price can change. I've put the suggested retail price here, but it could be lower if it's on sale, which is why I go through and check the sales. So if you see that any of those buttons say on sale versus shop, then you know that it's on sale somewhere. You can go check out what the sale price is. But again, some retailers are very particular about that, so that's why that choice was made. You may have also noticed up at the top of the window that it opens in its own tab, and that's on purpose too, because if you're looking at multiple car seats, sometimes it's frustrating that it loads in the same page where you already had all of your results pulled. So this way, if you have your filters on and you're looking at ones where you, I don't know, let's find one that would be good. Let's say rigid lower anchor connectors, okay? If I'm looking at just the ones that have this available, I don't want to click on one and then when I go back to the tool, have the tool be reset. So this way it keeps your search, and that was important to me from a user experience perspective. Okay, now let's go look at one of those details pages for a convertible or all-in-one car seat. So I'm going to go into this one here for the Even Flow Gold Sensor Safe Revolve 360 Extend. Lots of words, but they all mean something. This shows you similar details to what you would have seen on the other pages, but because it's a different type of seat, I pull different information in. So each stage will have its own kind of setup. So you'll see that there's rear-facing, forward-facing booster mode, some tech specs built into this, and then I also list off the features. And you'll notice that this one says that it's on sale. So now I want to talk about phase 2 and how I'm monetizing this. Something that was very important to me from a values perspective building this tool. I mentioned I didn't want it to be inundated with pop-ups or ads because that's just annoying. I also wanted people to really understand that this tool is built as an information source in an unbiased way. So I'm not allowing brands to buy me out and have like a review style video put together where I'm going to put feelings on it, whether I love something or don't love something. I just want it to be factual. I just want to walk through what the features are, how things install, really what someone looking at that seat would want to know about the seat, period. Because it's important to me that this is a trusted source, that people can get that information without feeling like they're being sold to, right? It's not a marketing place, it is an information source. But I'll be honest with you, as someone that does social media as a huge part of my income at this point, how am I going to monetize this without doing that? I'm doing this in a twofold approach to hopefully create some balance. One is this YouTube channel. So being able to upload, again, just factual, unbiased video tours of the seats without feelings on it, just here's how the seats work, here are the features, here's the limits, here's what you need to know. I've monetized other YouTube channels in the past, so I know what that process looks like. So getting this YouTube channel monetized and then having people watch the video tours, watch videos like this is going to help greatly, and hopefully shortly will be monetized, which means that that will be a stream of income as people use the tool and watch those video tours. They will also then be contributing in a way that costs them nothing, but helps me out. The second side of that is affiliate links, which is pretty par for the course these days with social media or anything really. And I've been very open and honest about this on the page, that the links for shopping are affiliate links where, well, I should say most of them. Some of them I could not get one. But of course I would get a kickback if you shop through those links, which you don't have to. But if you're buying a car seat online anyway, please do, because it helps me build tools like this, and having things that are open source is really for the greater good. But at the end of the day, having those two external sources means that I don't need to rely on brands to pay me to showcase their product. I can instead present it in a just factual, unbiased way so that people can know and trust that that information is just information and not advertising. So that's how that works, and let's now talk about phase 2. I've alluded a lot to these video tours, so what you're going to see over the next few months and going forward really is as these videos are uploaded to YouTube of specifically the video tours of each car seat, those will then be embedded on the details page for that particular car seat. What would happen is you would get to the bottom of the page and you would see a video tour section. I did a poll on my social media recently in terms of what people wanted to see for the first tour, and overwhelmingly people wanted the CPST-I, which was an interesting choice, but that's what we're gonna do. So that's the one I'm going to start with. But I'm going to mix it up as I go. Infant seats, convertibles, all-in-ones, boosters, just to try to get a bit of a smattering of them across the categories. If you've watched this far in the video, thank you. But also please, if you have not, hit subscribe to the channel. Growing the channel and having subscribers is part of that process of getting the channel monetized so that we can continue to build and add to tools like this. So I super, super appreciate it. Please subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, tell me what you hope you will see in the tool going forward, or if you've used it, something that you love, maybe other tools that you would love to see in the future for other types of gear. I'm all ears. Please drop anything like that in the comments. And turn on notifications if you can, so that when I post those tours as they come out, you can watch them. I will also be letting people know through my updates channel on my Instagram account. So it's the broadcast channel. If you go to my Instagram page and you tap on updates, join the broadcast channel, and in there I will let you know when video tours are live as well. But easier if you're subscribed and you hit notifications. I will also add that if you are the type of person where you just really want me to help you, I do offer that. So if you go to our main website, safebeginnings.ca, and you look into services followed by personal safety consults, you can book a time with me directly to do safety consults with you over a video call. I write up a report for you afterwards, but that can be about baby proofing, car seat safety. I have all of the scope of what I am willing to include in that on that page. So if that's something that you're just like, I just wish Holly could help me herself, I can. I just don't have the capacity to do it for everyone. So that's why I offer it as a separate service, but it's there if you need it. So stay tuned for the very first video tour coming shortly on the CPST-I. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Until then, make smart choices.